Welcome back to the Foundation. This is Swaytoven, and I'm going to talk about like arrangement. And I think this is super useful because there's a lot of different perspectives and ways that you want to be able to listen to the music that you make, right? And I never thought I'd actually end up making beats, but the only reason why I started making beats is because I didn't want to pay for other people's beats. So it's just like I also like used to play music when I was younger, so it's just I'm looking at it from like the artist perspective. Like how would I want to hear it? I have to detach myself from the beat. Like this is I really believe this. When you're making your stuff, you kind of have to just stand away. Just keep it playing, walk away, stand, and just maybe try to freestyle over it or something like that. Because it's just like you're going to hear when stuff can go in and out, right? Because you already know how it should be arranged. I just want you to understand that the countless amount of songs you've listened to in your life, you already know how the stuff should sound. It's just that you're thinking about it or going about it incorrectly, pretty much. And I have a philosophy on sound, basically. Uh, and I'll get to it in a second because I just kind of watched this video a little bit because I like the title talking about how like chord progressions weren't used in like certain things or sample based producers don't use chord progressions. I don't know. I don't also use samples, but it might be a good idea to look at these loops that you make as samples because if you look at the samples, then you'll start chopping up the loops that you make and these chords that you do and the melodies. You'll start putting them in different places that you see right now. Because like if these were just in form, you would just think that they were samples maybe from like Splice or something like that. You'd never know. So it's just like you kind of have to like actually perceive it differently than just looking at MIDI because like I believe that, and I might be wrong. Like what Pro Tools or something, I don't even know. But like there's just other DAWs that it's just like you're not gonna get MIDI. Like I don't know, but it's just like you gotta look at it differently. Um, but yeah, chord progression, all that stuff. Like I've said this before. Like I don't think people should be like mind controlled into thinking that pads have to be in every song, or or even chord progressions. I guess. Like I don't have any. I do have chords, and but at the same time, like it's just like the main reason why I said this is because like when is there a good space to get rid of the chords and still there be something, all right, in terms of the arrangement, still have some space and all that stuff. I think about the show Hole in the Wall, very old show, but Hole in the Wall, because the reason is this just like, and here's my little philosophy is that imagine you're just drifting out in space in this song, right? These frequencies, the vibrations, they just hit you, the wall of sound. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like you're a being that interacts with sound, so maybe you want to start actually singing or something like that. And just so you know, that's what I mean. That's kind of what reality is in a way. You feel me? And it's just like, where's the space? Where's the hole in the wall in which it's just not really feeling like that. It's just pushing you back. You can still power forward. You know, um, and maybe I just sound like ridiculous. Maybe I didn't deliver that well, but as we can see here, and actually I should play it real quick. I'm not saying this is like the best beat ever, but I'm just more focused on arranging as to when, like, because I already thought of lyrics, so as to when like it would make sense, like come in or out, or like how the beat should sound or something like that. So I guess we'll just give it a quick listen, because when we get up to this point right here, it's like to be continued. Where this red is, it's just to be continued, because like the beat's not finished, but it's just like, should I make more sounds, right? Should I switch up the not even the tempo, the the phantom chord progression. There's a key in here. You can just change everything around, but it's just like, how would I switch it up? Would I change the arpeggios to go up or down? The speed of them? Um, do I change most likely maybe like the 808 and the kicks or something like that? Maybe add percussions. So, but the thing is to get prepared for part two. In a way, it's just like, and not all these beats have it, but I just feel like there also has to be constant evolution. I kind of want to hint towards the part two and part one. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it just to come too much out of nowhere. And sometimes that's what it is. Like a straight transition can't come out of nowhere. But this is a story, right? We got characters, kind of being introduced at the beginning. They kind of go away so we can listen to this story, and then we got something else coming up after that. You feel me? So it's just like the only way that I think that might be really good to make it all make sense if all the sounds are playing together at the same time. You feel me? Because this is what this was. This was all right here is a loop. I separated it because I wanted to hear what it sounded like at the same time. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they all have to talk at the same time. You feel me? There's that space that gives you room to talk. That hole in the wall, in a way. But this is kind of what it sounds like. you have to understand there's like core sounds and stuff like that that I thought were really cool. Like I don't mind if everything in the song is just repeating the whole way through because I like it enough. I think there's a complexity in these sounds to where it's okay. The rhythm and stuff is okay, but it might get boring. So it's just like, don't be afraid to kind of like chop out what you might think is the core sounds. And it's all about arranging, making combos. What sounds can sound good with the other ones while not sacrificing like maybe too much sound in a way. Because there are some beats that completely don't have any sound, like when the drums play, and it always makes sense. You feel me? But maybe not with my type of beat because it just starts off with so much energy sometimes in a way. So it's just like, I don't know. But give it a listen, and then I'll like talk about the idea here. Okay, so um so one thing that I want to do actually, and I could do it right now, is these right here. I want to automate some delay. So like because it's only playing once, it's a quick little, and I'll let you hear what it sounds like, I guess, because you don't know. That right there, I kind of want that to repeat because I chopped it up from the original one that sounds fire without being chopped up. But it's just like this is one of the things you just want to edit. So how can I, chop it up, manipulate it while still retaining its integrity in a way, while still making it make sense with the beat. So just put it like, you just put it on a downbeat or something like that, or put it on beat. And it like put it to where something it helps to count basically is what I did. So we can kind of just give like it another listen in a way because you can hear when it comes in, and you would know as an artist when to come in. And I forgot what I was gonna say at the beginning. About something else. Ooh, it was a good one too, but whatever. See, it's basically hitting on the one, so it's just like that helps with the count. It's because when it hits on the one again, what you're going to be listening for, basically, because you have to understand. Look, listen. You feel me? The last one goes up in pitch, so it's an indicator, you know. And the thing about like don't think too hard about what could be an indicator in the sounds that you make or the things you put together. Just manipulate it, right? But a good indication or a good something that people will be looking out for is that change, like a different extra note, basically. I thought about doing it with this little bass line up here. Because it's just like instead of this repeating the whole way, because it's gonna sound the whole way, why don't I like have another note go up, maybe add a little bit of extra energy, um, because that's, you know what I'm saying. It'll kind of signal like maybe potentially a sort of change if I also change other things melody. I usually like to change the melody of these things, but none of them actually have a different melody. They're all the same melody, and I kind of like that. Is because I don't think I have to do too much work in terms of me trying to keep interest. So actually, in a way, that could be the part two, changing the melody. Right, it doesn't have to be maybe a different sound, or anything like that. Uh, and it's pretty standard, like kick, drums, and 808s. To be honest, I ain't gonna lie. And I basically made this for me, so it's just like I know how I would flow on it. Like right there, see. So what I think is a good idea of actually trying to figure out what could be a good idea, to put in your songs is eliminate the rest of the sounds and then try to think of just new melodies. You feel like I just did right there. Like there's nothing else in that song that goes ba da ba ba ba, but I could put that melody in this next block, right? And then I can try to identify its purpose in this beat. Because if it's just the dun 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 coming in between the 808s, then I might need to add something else that potentially fills a little bit of that super wide hole that we're talking about. Because it's just like we're leaving off this wall of sound. No more wall of that sound, right? Maybe we want to bring some elements back, but maybe I'm also not making sense. But that's also a thing I have to practice. I'll probably just think of another melody later. Um, I really like that little twinkle at the end. It's a little extra, but it's whatever. But I think I probably miss it out on something. But the thing is, a lot of people follow the structure of like, you know, I don't know what it is, A, B, B, C, whatever, which is really crazy that I said it like that. cause super pause, bro. Holy shit. But that's the like the, they want to do part A, part B, or maybe like 2 sheet or something like that to keep the interest. And it's just like, I got regular drums coming in to signify like an introduction. This is the standard basically. Oh, what I was gonna say is that, like, here's the thing: as artists, at the beginning of the beat, I already have lyrics. So the thing is just like, even though it sounds like an intro, it's kind of like to even retain the interest, or even still like to get the interest in the first place. A lot of songs start off with lyrics, so it's just like I also think you kind of don't want to think too much about like intros in a way that can't really be wrapped on, because it's just like it gets to the point where it's just like an instrumental intro to a music video almost, and I feel like you don't necessarily want that if you want the person to be hooked instantly. Of course, obviously you could put it in there anyway, it doesn't really matter, but it's just like, in a way simplicity's key, because like there's a world where I would add a guitar to this. There's a world where I add a little guitar solo for no reason at all, right? Just to give it, like, what? I'm gonna show you, right? Whatever, we'll just. Ba-ba, ba-ba, something like that. something like that, pretty much. You feel me? And that's extra. But the thing is I might keep that same melody, put it for this part two right here, basically. But change the sound because it's just like I always default to like a harp or a guitar or even the piano. Sound selection is very important too. But it's just like boom, there you go. And I'm not gonna even have, probably won't even have that. Right? It could be something that in the sound itself can be something that might be floating around in the beginning. You feel me? So this could be like something unique. This could have been like just the bum 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 bum. You know, because I'm saying we're just, even though we're introducing a little character a little bit at the beginning, then we're letting the other character talk, and then that one starts talking. You feel me? And I say characters in terms of like a story or something like that. So it's just like, but I'm the main character. You feel me? Because I'm going to be saying something throughout the whole beat. These are just backup singers. You feel me? And also, it's a beat, so understand that when arranging, I think a lot of people, maybe they don't focus on the melody. This might just be me. I think a big thing about this is like when the hi-hats come in and stuff too. When the kick comes in and stuff, right? As you can see, mine's just a straight block of it, but it's just like, except for the highs that come out, but that's a real key component of it, because you can have a song that just has straight, that doesn't stop it, like energy all the way through, the things that evolve or the melodies and like, you know, how you chop it up. But it's just like, it's just good to take hi-hats out. I ain't gonna lie, don't know why, right? But it just sounds good. It's good to take a kick out, right? So then when everything's introduced, you hear the kick come back in. It's good to switch up the melodies within these 808s when there are switch ups basically. So when the hook comes back in or something like that, even though this is still the verse, it's just like, you know, there's gonna be a different vibe to it. That alone also can be part of part two. You know, the thing is, I'm not really great with transitions or bridges or anything like that. And probably could just watch a few videos and just get the fundamental, right? Because the transitions can be simply silence, can be built up with under instruments. It could be anything that is that can just be heard in a way. You feel me? Because and that sounds terrible to say it like that, but you know, some people might be delusional thinking that just adding the kick without having the kick playing after a couple of bars and coming back into the transition. Like, if you really hear some of these beats, like, you'd have to like listen to like some Juice WRLD type beats or something like that when I'm talking about the hi-hats coming out and the kicks coming in and out. That's what my advice would be, because you can just understand. You don't copy Juice WRLD beats, but you understand that it's because it's very easy to hear those percussions, opposed to maybe like Future or Young Thug. Even though you can still do it, I think, you know, the Juice WRLD type beats might be kind of easier to understand when to take stuff in and out. The thing about it is that their counting is all the same with it though, which is the problem. Like it's almost as if they're running off a Juice WRLD type beat template. But you can at least, like I'm saying, understand when stuff can come in and out, and understand the relations of the energy of these arrangements, you know, of these sections and stuff like that. So, you know, that's something that I obviously have to get better at, but, you know, hopefully like me putting into words in a way makes it easy to understand how you could also get better at it, you know. So like, to basically recap, you know, don't be afraid to chop up these sounds to make space. Just understand what's too much space or too little space, unless you do want a wall of sound, which I would advise to mixing well, because if you mix it well, the wall of sound could be, you might just fit right in. It doesn't really matter. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do any of these things, because we're in a time where a lot of things are changing. A lot of people are being exposed to a lot of different things. And whereas there are some fundamentals and stuff to kind of follow, it's just like there's no right or wrong way. Because I think the beat in relation to the person singing on the beat, which is what I wanted to say that I forgot, is very important. That's very important. Because I was listening to this one song by like SZA or something last night. I don't listen to SZA, but someone else was playing it, and I don't even listen to music how other people listen to it, because it's just like, just the relationship. You have to have a relationship with the beat in a way. You just gotta know when the like even though there's elements in the beat that have to know when to talk, when to stop talking, it kind of goes the same with you and the beat, right? Um, how little should the whole beat as a whole not be talking as much over you? So it's just like as an artist, all right. So as a producer, you probably just want the craziest stuff to be sounding cool, this, that, and the third. But you got to understand the relationships between all these elements. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have.